What's up, guys? My name's Devon.
My name's Marco.
And this is Do You Believe?
And this is a quick review from our trip in Haunted Savannah.
So we've been hearing you guys, and we actually wanted to answer some of the questions that you might have in regards to the trip to Savannah. So we got all kinds of questions like, what did we expect? Were we satisfied with the trip? And would we ever go back? These are some of the questions that we got from you guys, and we would like to answer them, as well as give you kind of our take on some of the clips that you guys have been watching. So we were kind of already ahead of the game before we went down there. Me and Marco had actually previously visited Savannah to kind of get an idea of Savannah and what it had to offer. We had yet not started the YouTube channel, but kind of just wanted to scope out and see everything. I did not know that 1790 Inn was, I guess, as hunted as we ended up finding out later on. However, we thought we definitely had to add it to this list. One of the places, though, that we did visit on our first visit was the actual Sorrel Weed House. During this visit, I mean, we both kind of, in a sense, I guess, fell in love with the location and thought this would be perfect for our first ever investigation. So we made it possible, and it ended up being the second place we went when we went to Savannah.
All right, so while we were in the 1790 Inn, we kind of just like freestyled our way around it. Things that we would have done differently is to focus more on like camera placements and specific questions to ask Annie pertaining to her situation, her suicide.
Yeah, we didn't want to go in with, like, I guess, too prepared and just forget everything and not actually be in the moment at times. I think we did definitely tighten up when we went to Sorrel Weed House. However, like I said, once again, we were just so overwhelmed with the location just being as big as it is. And, you know, I guess if there's anything I would change to make better next time, it'd probably be just to stay in one location, spend more time there, and try to be as quiet as possible, and maybe just to get better equipment. That's pretty much it.
I agree.
Time out. Was it worth the money? Well, I'm considering that we went to two historical buildings, that you could say were kinda haunted.
Kinda haunted.
I think that, yeah, it was worth the money.
Yes!
Considering one of them we had completely to ourselves, other than the one lady, which she was in a totally different building. Like
other than her.
Across, yeah, the way. Yeah, we were by ourselves. After all, were we satisfied with the trip?
Yes!
No. I would say, personally, it was something to grow from. However, the satisfaction I have within the trip is with the fact of 3 friends missing Eli, doing something that we said we were gonna do. As far as not being satisfied is more on the lines of
the creative or productive side of
being
things.
a little bit more prepared for next time.
But I mean, even so, like, when next time comes along, we're gonna still not hit every nail on the head. We're not gonna hit every nail on the head.
No, for sure.
But no, I agree though. I mean, overall, I feel satisfied because it happened. It was a good experience. But I mean, yeah, always you're gonna walk away thinking, damn, we should have done this differently, or we could have done it this way. But then again, that's, you know, we went there, we had fun.
That's the point of the trip.
We got some activity.
I feel like that's the point of the trip, is to actually take the trip. You never know unless you actually take that, you know, that jump, that leap.
I think my biggest fear was like, what if we don't get activity? But we
Boy,
caught some.
were you wrong!
We caught some. So
Speaking
some
of,
is better than none.
Let's take a roll of the footage. Here is when we actually leave to go grab a bite to eat. But what was happening at this current time was we set up our camera and we left the recorder inside of the room. We were hoping, obviously, to try to find something maybe happen. The lady at the bottom tipped us off, said that She likes to talk to you. The spirit in this room likes to talk to you
But
through
she's
the
shy.
light. Yeah, she's
The
shy.
shy one. So it's not strange that we hear voices when we're not there.
Right.
But it is strange that the camera died, but the audio recorder is still
Playing.
running. So that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
When this happened, I had the biggest smile on my face when Eli was like, guys, listen to this. Listen closely. And I was like, yes, EVPs. I was skeptic at first because, of course, it could have been anybody checking in.
Right.
But later that night, we actually tested it, and we had the recorder running, and I was walking down the hall, talking at a normal
Voice.
tone or whatever.
Tone.
But the recorder didn't capture my voice nowhere near as clear as it caught this one. And I was actually talking to Eli. He was in the room talking back at me, and it didn't even capture his voice quite as clear. So.
And we were doing this obviously to try to debunk the fact that it sounded like an actual little
like a
girl.
child, probably a child walking outside or something.
Yeah.
But
No. What we ended
was
up
too
finding out,
clear.
it was too clear. It was too close. You barely heard like the human ears when you were in the room, when Marco and them were outside. You could barely hear him, yet alone like something that clear on the actual recorder. So that only led us to believe somebody was actually in the room.
as you can see, looks like it's kind of doing like, howdy.
Hey guys!
In my room.
Hi!
Is it still 1897?
So what we're looking at right now is when we actually pulled out the SLS. This is our first time ever using this in an actual investigation, other than obviously testing it at our house. But it was never anything like this. We obviously didn't catch anything here, but we were able to catch something in the room. And it so happened that it happened right at 3 o'clock on the dot. We decided to pull it out and point it towards the doll, and we ended up getting a little figure right behind it. Let's see what happens.
Like a stick figure, what the heck? It's picking up two people. Wow, bro.
What?
It's picking up like a little person right beside you.
There's one right next to me, like right
Under
my
your arm.
like he's crouching down. It looked like he was like, or she, whatever it is, like dancing. It looked like it was trying to like grind from the side, but then
Bruh.
I'm like doing this, and probably like, that's not a dance move, buddy. So I think it stopped. No, it's still dancing. It's like, dude, whoa, hello, like,
So you was dancing with the ghost.
It looked like it was dancing. I've never noticed that. It looked like it was dancing.
Me personally, I thought it was like a little person, like a child or somebody shorter or smaller than Marco, obviously.
We just got distracted.
We ended
though,
up-
so when you see that, you're like, you're not thinking technical stuff. You're like, wow.
I'm
am I
like
really
in the
watching
actual
this?
moment watching this, seeing this happen, and there's somebody right up underneath him. Yes,
Why
that's
can't he
something that
just
we'll
say
never
hello?
figure out.
I don't understand. Like, is it so hard to say hi, welcome to my room?
Probably.
I don't understand. What is it with manners? Like, does that not exist anymore?
No.
Bro, stop.
That's how I know when you're serious. Stop,
Listen,
bro.
when he, all right, so prior to this, we were discussing whether the legs were crossed in the first place. Prior to this, we were discussing whether the legs were crossed in the first place. Right when we left with the SLS to check outside in the hallway, we looked and saw that they were crossed. We left, came back, and as we were sitting in the room trying to figure out what had happened to these legs. Because Eli, as you can see, was in the room. The doll was on the floor. We checked all the footage. We couldn't find
what caused the doll's legs to become uncrossed. Her hands were in the same position. Her body was in the same position.
She had like a rod like going up through, I guess the doll or whatever. It was like a, I guess, old handmade doll. So there was like no indication that she had like fallen over or anything like that. But the legs were just, you know,
Flimsy.
Flimsy. You could
But they
easily.
were crossed. It's not like
Exactly.
she was on the floor. Like, how do you uncross? Like, nothing's gonna fall over. Like
It's
that.
just like, it's not like I don't know.
And she's got support. She's against the pillow.
right. I don't know.
I don't understand the mathematics behind what just happened, but it happened.
If we could have captured that,
It's scary.
if we
because
could have captured that,
it's a doll.
moving her freaking leg.
It's a doll, man. That's
Dude.
scary.
So that was the end of 1700, 90 in. But we almost at 50 subscribers! Speaking of, we have a goal. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers. So please, if you're watching this video and you enjoy our content, make sure that you subscribe because we got plenty more coming.
But it's the same shit.